Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to the Dom Trap. I'm your host, also known as Dom, of course. I'm also your creator, your host, your editor, your producer, executive producer, your best boy, your first, your last, and your everything. And before we get started here, I do want to give a huge shout out to all the guys, man, to Lynn here, bro, to just to everybody. Highly over at the 2.5 Joints podcast, the guys over at RJCXD, of course, my boy Lex, my boy Pruitt, my boy Greg, Kai, everybody that shows up to the pod, man, everybody shows up to the live streams, you know, shout out to y'all, man, because I wouldn't be here putting out this stuff if it weren't for you guys. So, Daddy FPS also, congrats on the brand name change and everything. So, shout outs to you. But thank you guys, really, I mean that from the bottom of my heart, really the top. I love y'all. But yeah. Today we have a special guest, and it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been too long.
It was what, last October when we played last?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a hot minute.
It was like right before Halloween last year.
Mm-hmm.
So man, it's been a while. But we have a very special guest. We have the CEO of the Bros Who Think Network, host of the Bros Who Think podcast, host of Anime Talk, host of Bros Who Binge.
Well, I'm the co-host on that. I don't claim to be. That's you.
Okay, what co-host is
still a host, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Along with Shuby.
Yeah.
So shout out to Shuby, shout out to Ian, shout out to all the guys, Chris, everybody. But yeah, we have Lynn. I don't want to keep doing this. So you go ahead and reintroduce yourself to the people.
How y'all doing? Thank you, Damo, for having me. My brother, appreciate you for coming on. Welcome, everybody. My name is Lynden Burton, the host of the Bros Who Think podcast. I created a podcast network called the Bros Who Think Network. We have a bunch of different shows, from Bros Who Think podcast to Run It Back, which is a movie review show where we review movies that aren't the movies that were made before 2020 and 2019. We try to go back and review the classics. We also have a show called Anime Talk where we discuss the latest anime news, we review the latest anime episodes. We have discussions that are brought to us by the fans from the Discord to Twitter to wherever, and we answer your questions. We also have a manga review show that's unnamed, but right now we review One Piece manga chapters weekly. That's on the YouTube. We also have a movie show where we talk movie news. We review the latest movies. We review the latest TV, and then we do discussion on there called Bros Who Binge. And also, funny enough, Damo, it's been a year, but in that year, I became a host of a radio show at ESPN Lafayette. Right. I host a show called Rise and Grind every morning at 6 a.m. from 6 to 7. You can catch that on the ESPN Lafayette app. You can, because unless you're in Lafayette, but if not, you can get it on the app. Just go to your app store and type in ESPN Lafayette. And every morning from 6 to 7, you'll get the best sports content out. Like, legit, I'm the best sports radio show out, Damo. I stand on that because I get hot interviews. We get the best music playing. I play the latest hits, and we talk movies. All the old, because it's a bunch of old heads doing radio. And they may have me on predictions, but in terms of vibes, best vibes. Yeah. So every morning, if you want your sports, forget First Take, forget Skip and Shannon, 6 to 7 a.m., check out Rise and Grind. But that's why I am. That's why
I'm glad you told me about the app, because I didn't have the app, so now I know to get the app. So
the app, yes, sir.
I got something to listen to in the mornings, man. I appreciate you putting me on game.
But who knew we would have the same hat, which is nuts.
Bro, listen. So to give you guys some context, but if you're watching on YouTube anyway, I had on my red hat. This has been my go-to hat for when I'm doing this and when I'm doing streams and everything. And he comes over. Well, he comes in. He says, "Wait a second, I'm gonna go grab me some water." He leaves, comes back with this hat on. I'm looking at the hat like, wait a minute.
I see my guy has a Christmas hat on, and I'm like, yo.
Man, I'm trying to stay in the spirit, bro.
Yeah, I feel it.
So I seen him wear his hat, and I'm like, wait a second, bro, give me a couple minutes now. I go in the closet, go try to find my hat. Boom, found it, put it on, and here we are. So we're doubling up with the double Bruces right now.
Yes, sir. Because I'm back. So my girlfriend, she was like, yo, we gotta wear Christmas hats for Christmas. And she's a big she knows I'm a big Batman guy, so she got me the Batman hat. And then she got the Grogu Star Wars because, funny enough, she wasn't a Star Wars fan before we started dating. And watching The Mandalorian with me, she fell in love with Grogu, and now she's becoming a Star Wars fan. So she got her on. Yeah, you know,
something
Damo,
light, right?
Man.
Something light.
Look. Look. Even though I host a lot of podcasts, I would say that movies are my first love. Like, I'd say movies and comics are my first love. And movies, comics, and anime. So like, this is where I nerd out at. And Star Wars was one of my first, like, I would say the major things that got me into movies and stuff. The first movie that really was like, whoa, I would say was Star Wars, bro. That like, because I saw black movies, of course, before Star Wars. Like, funny enough, I saw Friday. I saw a lot of shit that I shouldn't have saw just being around my cousins and stuff. But the first movie I watched with my dad that I truly remember that I was like, they can do this, was he showed me the original Star Wars. And when I saw Obi-Wan pull out that lightsaber, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Fire. Mind blown.
Changed my life. Put
you in a whole new world, and here you are today.
The next movie that changed my life, I would say, and that's why I got a Batman hat, was The Dark Knight. When I was like, oh my goodness, Christopher. I was like, because at that point I've seen movies, but like I'm starting to get into them. And when I see the joke, when I saw the freaking heist scene for the first moment, I'm like, oh my God, like, this is so fast. Everything's happening so fast. Like, this looks so real. How did he do this? And when the Joker pulls off the mask, I'm like, this is a Batman movie?
Yes, bro.
No way.
Yes,
so,
bro.
like, those are two movies. That's why me and my girlfriend have those hats. Just a quick story. Because those movies changed my life along with Batman the Animated Series. Batman's my favorite hero. So, but yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
What's up?
But, you know, Batman is cool and all. But is he really a superhero?
He is, bro. He is.
Is he like a solidified superhero, or is he
100%?
All right,
100%. Do you want me to defend it? Because I can do that right now. Like,
bro,
I told you,
bro.
I'm giving you as much time as you want. Like, we got an hour plus. Like,
Let's
chilling.
do it.
So
one of my best friends is a huge Batman fan. I talk to him all the time. He says that Christian Bale is his Batman.
See, okay, now wait. Now
that's kind of tough, right?
That's okay. So when you ask me, is Batman a superhero? I say yes, but I'm thinking of comic book Batman. I'm thinking of Batman the Animated Series. I'm thinking of the Batman that's on our hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny enough, as much as I love The Dark Knight and Christian, I think the first movie is the most Batman comic booky out of the three.
Yeah.
But I think in the series, you could take away the title Batman and it would work as a secret agent spy movie because Nolan always wanted to do James Bond, and this was his version of Bond. So like, you can think about it. He's training in like a rich guy who was like, no, I want to be a secret agent. He goes train with these people and he's learning how to be a secret agent. He's training and boom, he becomes a secret agent. And like, instead of him running away from the organization, just have it to where he joins it. And then he's doing missions and like, it could work without it. So Christian Bale's not necessarily the most Batman of Batman, but Batman is 100% a superhero, 1,000. Right.
But what's so funny is like, you know, we got the Batman coming out in March, right?
Yes. Have you heard my statement on this? I've said this on multiple pods. I've said this in the Discord. I've said this on tweet. I'm going to say it here so people know. The Batman will be the best comic book movie of the last 5 years and the next 5 years.
Oh my, that's a bold claim.
The only movie that will beat it is its sequel.
So you're saying
I'm staying on that.
You're saying bump Infinity War, bump Endgame.
Yep.
Bump this glorious
Spider-Man movie that we're going to talk about.
Just got. Yep. We're going to talk about it.
The one that scares me is Into the Spider-Verse. That's the one that scares me when I say the best comic movie of the past 5 years.
Because that's my favorite.
That's the movie that scares me.
Absolutely my favorite comic book movie. Probably I don't want to say ever, bro, but I
was about to say ever. I still go Dark Knight 1, and then it's a mixture of the next 3 is Logan, Into the Spider-Verse, and Scott Pilgrim. And I don't know where I put them, but I don't. That's the one that scares me with the past 5. But funny enough, and when we talk about this new film, we'll probably get into this, but like,
oh yeah,
Infinity War and Endgame are not the best Marvel movies to me. Like, to me,
Really?
the best Marvel movies still are Thor Ragnarok,
I mean, that's
Captain
dope.
America, Winter Soldier,
That's
and
dope.
and this movie. Funny enough.
See, man. See, here's my thing, man. I just think about like, the context of Infinity War. Like, we knew going into this movie that people were not going to make it through.
But it didn't matter. Like, see, that's what hurt me, Domo. The fact that it
bro,
didn't
listen.
matter.
See, I'm the guy that when Thor was happening, I'm like, yo, where's Heimdall during everything? I'm worried about Idris Elba and I'm worried about Heimdall.
Didn't
And
walk back up.
When people tell me Infinity War didn't matter because everybody came back in Endgame, I'm like, man, fuck
Heimdall
y'all.
didn't. Yeah,
I
you're
lost
right.
Heimdall.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm sitting here thinking one of my theories was that, with Heimdall, he had the orange glowing eyes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this dude is the holder of the Soul Stone, the only stone that we hadn't really seen yet.
He
has to have the Soul Stone. And I'm like, wait a minute. When the movie starts, and then of course, he bites the bullet. I'm like, I was wrong.
Crazy.
Like early on. So the rest of the movie, I'm like confused. I don't know what's gonna happen. I just know that Vision is dying.
Yeah,
but,
man.
Other than that, bro.
But and that's why, and when we'll talk more about this when we talk about Spider-Man, and I'll defend my point with Spider-Man. But with the Batman, just to finish up that, this movie, funny enough, people are gonna be like, but how can you say Christopher Nolan's movies less Batman than this? No, this movie's gonna be probably the most Batman movie we've ever gotten. Funny enough,
the most comic accurate
Batman we've gotten. I've done so much research on this, Damo.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just tell you, Mattson Tomlin, the writer of it, with Matt Reeves, their favorite Batman stuff is Batman the Animated Series, Batman the Long Halloween, and the Jim Lee Batman Hush. And Scott Snyder's Court of Owls, but their favorite is Batman the Animated Series. So if you see their favorite is Batman the Animated Series, Court of Owls, Long Halloween, and Batman Hush, to me, Damo, those are the best Batman stuff ever.
It's the most dark stuff. It's the most stuff that you can't just think about it.
But not necessarily dark. Some of them aren't necessarily dark. They're noir. They're more detective stories. They're mystery stories. And if you see this Batman, he's doing this is Seven. This is noir. This is Chinatown. Like, Matt Reeves was inspired by Chinatown. I watched Chinatown for this movie. Batman feels like Jake Gittes. Like, I dig it. And this movie's gonna be awesome. And what the moment I knew I loved this movie was when in the trailer you hear Paul Dano go, "What's black and blue and red all over?" And he goes, "You." But the way he said "you" sent chills down my spine. And it was like, bro, he's not mimicking Heath Ledger, because we've seen a lot of people mimic Heath Ledger. No, he's doing his own thing. He feels like the Zodiac killer. Selena Kyle, Zoe Kravitz, my girlfriend, is like, every time I talk about him, she's like, "Oh, you love her." She is amazing. That is great. She's great. That is queen, Catwoman. So we have her. We have Paul Dano doing his best Zodiac killer. And then you have Penguin, Colin Farrell, which I thought was an incredible choice, making him a Goodfellas mobster, doing his best Robert De Niro impression.
The whole prosthetics thing. You can't even tell it's him. Bro, unless you look very closely, but even then.
The fact that he's doing a New York mobster is fucking incredible. So you have Mobster Penguin, which in the animated series, he owned the Iceberg Lounge and he was a mobster. So I'm assuming the club we see him in the trailer is the Iceberg Lounge. So you have that. You have Selena Kyle. You have Paul Dano's Riddler. So far, 3 villains in a movie. And this feels the most comic book accurate, because in Batman's world, Gotham isn't just one villain striking at a time. Like,
it's multiple things going on at the same time.
It's a world. It's breathable, and this feels breathable. And then we still haven't seen John Turturro's Falcone.
We haven't.
If you've watched The Big Lebowski and see him as Jesus, he's gonna be incredible as Falcone.
He's gonna be. He's fantastic. I mean, the thing is, bro, even seeing him in the first Transformers, like, you could tell that he was trying to do something. Like, everyone else was kind of like, there for the paycheck, but he seemed like he was actually trying
Turturro, man.
to be in love with the movie. Yeah.
So you have that, and then you throw in Andy Serkis as Alfred,
right?
And for me, I really love. I thought Michael Caine was a good Alfred. I like him.
Yeah, he's great.
I like the Alfred in the Tim Burton movies, but I have a special place in my heart for Jeremy Irons' Alfred because he was an Alfred who was tinkering, and I just love that he was a tinkerer Alfred.
So let me tell you this, bro. I love Jeremy Irons, and I don't know if you saw House of Gucci yet or not.
Not yet. I need to. That's the thing that's on my list. I haven't seen it yet.
You know, out of all these great actors in that movie, he's like the one standout. He killed it, bro, and he's not even in there for long.
In Watchmen, he was fucking.
He was phenomenal in Watchmen. We talked, you know, that's where we started. Like he was phenomenal in that.
As much as I love Regina King, and I thought Regina King killed it, it could be argued that Jeremy Irons was the best in Watchmen.
Every time he was on camera, we paid attention. Every time.
So I have a special place in my heart for his Alfred, but I think Andy Serkis could be a mixture of Michael Caine and Jeremy Irons. So you have that, and we still have not touched on the main star, which is Robert Pattinson. Let's do it. So I love everything else. I love Matt Reeves as a director. Planet of the Apes. He's great. He's shown he could do these types of movies. He's making a noir movie. So out of all the people to go get for his Batman, he go get Robert Pattinson. And I know people right now, there's still people who are like Twilight. They're on Twilight all the time. My dad still brings it up to me, and I've told him to go watch all these movies, and he still
go watch Good Time. It's on Netflix.
Now let's get into it. So he's Twilight. And everybody's like, damn, can this Twilight dude do it? At first, I was like, can he do it? And then I was like, wait, let me go do my research. So I went right when this was before he was cast, when he was rumored. Because at first, when it was rumored, it was Aaron Taylor Johnson. It was Ben Barnes. It was Ben Barnes. It was Nicholas Hoult. It was Robert Pattinson. And there was one more. It was, of course, Jake Gyllenhaal's name was in there, but he wasn't really considered. The main people that were considered was Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ben Barnes, Nicholas Hoult, and Robert Pattinson. And on Bros Who Binge, me and Schubert both were like, Schubert was pro Ben Barnes, I was pro Aaron Taylor Johnson. But he was okay with Aaron, I was okay with Ben Barnes. Right. Both would have been great Bruce Waynes. Both would have been good Batman. We both were like, Nicholas Hoult should not be Batman. Nicholas Hoult should be Riddler. Nicholas Hoult should be a villain. Nicholas Hoult is just not a leading man. He's just not. I'm sorry, Nicholas.
I mean, he showed that. What was that movie where he was a vampire? That feeling something. It was some kind of movie where he was like the lead guy. He was a vampire, and he bored me, I want to say.
So when you get to Robert Pattinson, it's like, okay, everybody doesn't believe in him, myself included. I hear all these rumors, and I'm like, all right, this is before he's cast. Let me do my research so I can see. And then as I'm doing my research, I see Christopher Nolan cast him in Tenet. And I'm like, okay, if Nolan's casting him in Tenet, then I really need to do my research. And I'm like, all right, it's time. Then I see the movie The King's coming out. So before I watch Good Time, I watch The King. And I'm like, okay, I love Chalamet. I'm loving this. In The King, I'm like, okay, this guy can really act. And it's a trick thing because at first you're like, okay, he's going to be this big badass, but he sacrifices his own image for the purpose of the story, but does it incredibly. So you see The King, and then boom, right after The King, the next day, Damo, not even a couple of weeks, the next day I watch Good Time.
Oh, man, yeah.
My girlfriend watches it with me because she's like, I don't know if Robert Pattinson can be Batman because we've been talking about it.
Right.
She was, before I even say anything, she's like, this is amazing. This is our first time watching the Safdie brothers. It's incredible. We're on our edge of the seat the whole time, and Pattinson just has this energy about him.
Yeah, he steals every scene, and it's like, bro, what is this dude up to? This dude is chaotic. I love it. And you can't look away. You cannot look away. The
power he has in that role, the gravitas he commands, is just incredible. He's evil, but at the same time, it's like, is he doing it for his brother, or is he just this ultimate scumbag? And then by the end of the movie, you find out he's this ultimate scumbag, but it's absolutely incredible. So then after that, I watch The Lighthouse. I watch the what's the movie with where he's the preacher, where he's like, ain't no soul, and it's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, the devil all the time. Yeah.
Not the best of movies, but a great performance. So all of that, he's cast as Batman. I watched Tenet, and then when you watch Tenet, it just tells you this guy's bad. This guy's Batman.
Dude's the one. He's the one.
This guy's the one, and I love how they're making him instead of this, because there's always this two sides of Batman. Are you going to make Bruce Wayne this playboy? Or are you going to make him this damaged person that dealt with his family's death and is a recluse? And at first, and I know people are like, he's always been this playboy, but in the first couple of years of Batman, he is a recluse. Like, he just focuses on the mission And I think he'll become a playboy by the next movie and then the next movie. But him being this recluse guy at first is going to be awesome. And I think Pattinson's going to be the best Batman we've ever had. I do. Now, will he be the best Bruce Wayne? That's left
up for
to
debate.
be seen. Yes,
that's up for debate.
But I do think he will be the best Batman. 100%. And I'm super excited for this movie. That's my most anticipated movie of next year. I think DC will win the year just on that movie alone. However, Black Adam. Black Adam looks really good, Damo. I'm not gonna lie.
We got Peacemaker DC's got coming out with.
And you know how I feel about that. I think that's gonna be the best show. I think that's gonna be one of the best shows of next year. And funny enough, even though Spider-Man was so great this year, I still think it's up for debate if Suicide Squad is the best movie of the year, best comic book movie of the year, because of James Gunn, and that's why I'm super excited for Peacemaker. But so the Batman March, you're gonna have to have me back for this, and we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do it, man. We're gonna have to, bro, because I know how excited you are about this. And like when it first got announced, we first saw the trailer, you were like, "Holy shit!" Like, y'all, this is going to be the one.
You're in our Discord, and you know how I feel about it. Like, the trailer really sold me, and it's incredible. It is incredible.
I'm super excited to see what they do with Batman. I'm more excited to see what Robert Pattinson does with the character of Bruce and Bat, of course. I'm ready to see what everybody has bringing to the table with that movie. But yeah, that's looking to be one of those. And I'm real
quick. Just final thing. How do you feel about this? Because Warner Brothers did a test footage of the movie with the character.
They did 2 endings, right? Or 2 different viewings with one character and one without.
Do you know who the character is?
I don't. I didn't want to be spoiled. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I'd rather you tell me than anybody. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, it's rumored right now that Barry Keoghan is the Joker, and Matt Reeves is doing it like a comic book where Joker exists, but he's not the main villain. He's in Arkham, and he's saving Joker for either movie 2 or movie 3. I'm thinking movie 3 more so, and have him in jail and have him break out in the second one. And Barry Keoghan's brother even put on Facebook, "Oh, y'all didn't like Eternals? Well, my brother's the Joker, so y'all gonna like the next one."
Oh, wow, yeah.
and he had to delete it instantly. And Warner Brothers didn't know if they wanted to do it with it or without. I think they should just do it with it, because that makes Matt Reeves' movie that much more special and that much more different than everything else, because it shows that his Gotham is a character. And I think in Batman comics, that's a thing that Nolan's movie didn't grasp, that Tim Burton's movie tried to do. He was the only one that kind of did it. And Zack Snyder definitely didn't do it.
Yeah, no, but I feel like with this, man, like you said, with Gotham being its own character, just being, seeing these shots of just cities and buildings, and we might even have some shots where we're just low down in like subways and stuff like that. I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it, bro.
When they showed him jumping off the thing and gliding, I was
like, put me on the ground. Like, get me out of the skies, bro. Like, leave the skies to everything else.
In the Daredevil shot, because I got to give Daredevil their credit. The Daredevil shot under the thing. In
the hallway?
Bro.
In the dark? Oh, man.
They were like, bet. Daredevil's hallway shot was good. We're going to
turn down the brightness and turn up the gunshots.
Yep.
That looks so hard, man. And then when he's just walking towards the one guy, like, bro,
and that's why Matt Reeves, like, if you ask me who I'm most excited for with this movie, obviously Pattinson's number 1, but Matt Reeves is definitely number 2, like, to see how he directs and his directing style. And then I would say Zoe Kravitz and Paul Dano are tied at number 3.
Yeah. And then 4 would have to be Colin Farrell.
Cobblepot. Yeah, he's getting his own TV show.
Like, yeah, bro. That kind of says something right there.
That says how good he is. Like, I told you when in Discord, when our guy Tyler was arguing with us about would Suicide Squad be good, I was like, there's no way Suicide Squad would be bad. There's no way it would be bad if they gave John Cena a TV show before the movie comes out. They gave the Batman movie not 1 TV show, but 2. You have the Gotham City Police Department, with which I'm assuming Jeffrey Wright's going to be in the show.
Has to be, right? That dude is booked and busy, bro. He's not going anywhere.
And then you're getting a Penguin show with Colin Farrell showing his lead up. So that tells me
he doesn't even really do TV shows like that, bro. So that that they're 1, throwing a bag at him, or 2, this is just great content that they cannot miss out on.
I think it's both.
Number 2.
And Robert Pattinson has already said he's down to do 3 to 4 movies and appear in all the TV shows. So that tells me he's going to appear in the Penguin show. He's going to appear in the Gotham PD show. Maybe not as like
a prominent figure. Like he might not have like a full episode about him, but
for sure
he's going to be in the background. Things are going to be happening with with what he has going on.
And that's
maybe something that we'll get a movie on is what's going on at the same time, coinciding with the TV show.
Exactly.
It all makes sense. It all makes sense.
And that's why I'm so excited for this. The fact that HBO believes in it, it just shows you that like, and another thing that tells, this is the final thing I say on this, Damo. It tells, how I know it's good. Marvel moved Doctor Strange. They're worried about it.
They moved Doctor Strange from March to
all
May.
The way to May. They were like, we know Batman's going to be that big that we don't even want to be near it in April. We want to let it get its full run of number one, and in May we'll take over. They moved their TV shows from January with Peacemaker, and they literally said Peacemaker and Batman, we're getting away from you.
Right. I mean, they've even pushed the Miss Marvel show to like 2023. Like something we were supposed to be getting soon, just got delayed. Everything got delayed.
There's nothing around Black Adam, and there's nothing around Peacemaker and Batman. Now the Flash, Kevin Feige, I don't blame you. I wouldn't be worried about the Flash.
Especially after the Spider-Man. We'll get into Spider-Man, bro. We'll get into it.
Yes,
but Marvel, I get, it's okay to be scared.
Yeah,
it's okay to be scared.
They know. Kevin Feige realizes that, okay, DC's here to play now with James Gunn and Matt Reeves.
Yeah, they have some big hitters now. Yeah. Granted, we still got a James Gunn movie in our pocket, but still, that's a ways away.
and that tells me how much like Gunn is like people are like, oh, Gunn will come back to Marvel. I was like, nah, man, Gunn's really done with Marvel. Like, I think he's fed up. Like, he didn't like how Disney treated him, and like I think like he's giving them the Guardians movie. Thank you, Kevin Feige, for everything you've done with me. But I think he's more concerned about the universe he's building over in DC because
he can make another Suicide Squad.
If not, he could, bro.
There's so many characters they have. There's so much real estate over at DC that we have not gotten on film yet.
He could make whatever he wants. Like they gave him the keys to the king. Like literally, him and Matt Reeves have the keys to the kingdom. Him, Matt Reeves, and Pony Smasher. The dude who Sandberg who made Shazam, and then The Rock with Black Adam. Those four have The Rock unless Black Adam is a failure. But if Black Adam is a success, him, David Sandberg, but specifically Matt Reeves and James Gunn, and J.J. Abrams, because J.J. Abrams, we haven't seen what he's making yet. But so really, Gunn, Abrams, and Reeves have control of DC, and I'm excited for everything they're bringing us. All this shit looks good.
Yeah, I'm super excited, man. Not to say that I'm not excited about Marvel stuff. Especially with the world that they're building right now, which is something that we haven't really seen.
We'll talk about it with Spider-Man, because like I think that Marvel, there's multiple sections of Marvel, but there's one section of Marvel that I am more excited for. If you ask me my excitement level, it would go DC with Gunn and Reeves, and then the section of Marvel I'm talking about, and then everything else with DC and Marvel. Like this section of Marvel that I'm talking about could be so special.
Right. After everything that we've gotten.
Yeah. So where you want to begin? We start with Spider-Man. We're going Last Night in Soho. Where we going?
You know what? I want to start real quick. I know you didn't see the Resident Evil movie. Have you seen it?
No,
you haven't.
No.
Okay, so I watched it for
you
all, bro. To everyone that's listening, do not go and see this movie. Don't pay. Just imagine that this movie doesn't even exist. I'm a Resident Evil fan. I remember playing Resident Evil 1 on my PS1 and 2 and 3. I've grown up with Resident Evil games. I had Resident Evil 4 that was on the GameCube. Just to let you know. So me growing up with these games, me learning about, these characters and getting attached to these characters, like, oh yeah, this is Chris Redfield. This is Claire Redfield. This is Jill Valentine and so forth. Leon Kennedy. This movie does no one any favors. It doesn't even do them a favor. These characters, they're wooden. They're one-dimensional. There's scenes from the games that they try to put into the movie that are just done terribly. For example, the infamous dog scene from the first game where the dog jumps through the window and runs at you. The dog they did it, bro. And they did it horribly, man. The CG on that poor dog is so bad. It's so bad, man. The CG in general was not good. They recreated the bald guy, the bald zombie, when he turns around and like kind of growls at the camera. They did that. That looked like garbage. They did they botched it. I can't believe they botched it after us having, what was it, 8 or 9 movies from the last movies, and then they just say, hey, we're gonna redo this franchise, but we're gonna focus on 2 games, which is already a lot because each game has so much in it. And they're trying to juggle things between the first games while setting up characters, while setting up raccoons. It's just entirely too much. The film feels rushed. Things don't make sense. Characters die for what reason? It's just, I don't want to say it's stupid, but it's stupid. It's a stupid movie. It literally, when I first saw the trailer, man, it looked like a YouTube short film. I kid you not.
Damn, is that bad?
It's that bad. And usually the trailer is supposed to be what sells a movie. That trailer almost did the opposite. It made me want to run away. And when I didn't go see it, opening night or opening week or anything, but I was like, you know what? I'm a Resident Evil fan. I'm just gonna go and see it. And
damn,
I
thought it was gonna be better now that they got all the Mila Jovovich shit out of there because I hated
right. Like get the supernatural stuff from those movies out. Get these new characters in
and
here.
Make it like the game. Damn.
Right. And they did a great.
Was that a Netflix movie?
No, it's only in theaters. Okay, only in theaters. No streaming networks or anything. And that's
it's not about to make no money.
No, not at all. It could have really went straight to DVD or Blu-ray or digital, whatever you want to call it now. But Jesus. I remember watching that trailer when I seen at the end, it said only in theaters. I said, oh my gosh. And I'm sure, the movie costed, I think it was $25 million.
Jesus.
So, it had a low budget. I don't think they made that at all. If a movie like The Last Duel couldn't make that, I'm pretty sure that this movie didn't either. But
The Last Duel was actually a good movie.
It was a great movie, and I talked about it on my last episode, and like the whole marketing aspect of it, and Ridley Scott's
Ridley Scott blaming superhero movie stuff is BS. It's
and millennials, bro, I'm a millennial.
Yeah, and I like that movie. I blame the fact that you didn't market this movie right and didn't know how to market it. You tried to market it as like this social media woke movie, which is stupid. You should have marketed it as like an actual night movie, and I guarantee you.
And partially a romance. Like that's all he had to do, because even the romance wasn't bad in the movie.
Exactly.
But back to Ari Raccoon City, man. This movie was really the easiest 2 out of 10 I could give a movie.
Ooh,
I give it a 2 only because they nailed some of the locations, like the tunnels and the laboratories and the mansion. They nailed the look of everything on that end. But when it comes to characters and plot and the things that matter, they missed every single time. And I feel bad for the actors and actresses because a lot of them like turn off comments on Instagram and they disable their accounts.
They had to.
Yeah. And it's like,
and I feel bad for them.
Yeah. Cause I'm like, you're messing with a franchise with so many fans and you put out bad content talking about you, Cowboy Bebop. You can't be surprised if you put out this product.
I thought Cowboy Bebop deserved the second season. I'm not gonna lie, Damo. I gave it a 6.
I wanted to see a second season too.
I thought it was anywhere between a 6 and a 7. I did not think it was bad as like Flash or Legends of Tomorrow. But Netflix. But see, the thing is, I thought the same thing with Jupiter's Legacy. Like, I don't think Jupiter's Legacy deserved to be canceled. But to me, Netflix is so in the hole to where it's like, if it's not a smash hit, they're canceling it. They don't accept mid shows. Right. They're like, if it's a mid-level, like Sabrina got canceled, which
exactly, bro. And I feel like that show had a fan base.
Exactly. So to me, if a show is not Stranger Things, Squid Games, Narcos,
it's out of
Ozark level, they're getting it out of here.
Glow got canceled.
And Glow is great. Like,
Glow was fantastic.
That's stupid. So like, of course, Cowboy Bebop had no shot if Glow gets canceled and Sabrina. Right. So
some of these big shows with followings.
Yep,
it's tough, man. It's tough. If like you said, if your name isn't Stranger Things, The Witcher,
Ozark, Narcos, like they're trying to compete with Amazon and HBO, and they're so stupid because they don't realize that HBO, not every show is Succession.
Yeah, HBO's taking chances.
Yep,
there are shows that aren't that good. Yeah, but they are sticking with these shows. And
same with
second
Amazon,
season, third seasons.
Same with Amazon. Amazon's taking chances. Not every show's The Boys. Right. Not every show's Jack Ryan. Same with Apple.
And I'm not gonna lie,
it's already passed up Netflix in quality. To me, if you ask me the best quality of streaming services, it's HBO, Amazon, Apple, Hulu, and then Netflix. Like, and it's because Netflix won't allow some of these shows to do second seasons and breathe. And if you take more chances, you'll have a shot at getting the Jack Ryans, the Boys, the Successions.
Yeah.
Like,
but they're just pulling out way too prematurely, man. It's sad because they give these shows to us. We like the shows, and they say, well, no, not really. You know, you might have liked it, but millions of other people didn't.
Like I thought Bebop's second season is where it was going to get its legs. I really
of course, because that was diverting away from the anime. That was doing something that we haven't seen yet or ever.
Yep.
And
exactly.
I was looking forward to it, man.
Same.
I was like, give me this version of these characters that
we're
not aware with, that we're not, that we're not here for.
Like I'm 100% sure that I'm right. Like Julia, if she was going to lead the syndicate, she needed someone to be her right-hand man, to be the killer and to be the violent person. And I don't know if you've ever seen the Cowboy Bebop movie, but in the Cowboy Bebop movie, there's a villain that's just as cool as vicious and is the second coolest Cowboy Bebop villain of all time. His name is Vincent. And in the back of the credits, they mention this was based off of Cowboy Bebop and Cowboy Bebop the movie. And the whole time I was wondering, well, how's it based off of the movie? We haven't seen anything.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything.
I think it was for the second season, and I think Vincent was going to come in then, which sucks.
And unfortunately, we're not getting that. That sucks, man. And then again, like with the actors, you could tell early on that they were like, "Yeah, I'm excited to do this."
I don't feel bad for John Cho, but I do feel bad for Mustafa Shakir.
Right, he did
really
a great job,
and he really cared. His Facebook post came out.
They wrote his character into a hole. They said, "Okay, how are we going to make this character that's kind of wooden in the show? Let's make him have these attachments and feelings. Let's give him."
I liked it.
A white wife, a mixed child, a stepdad, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like just throwing all this drama at him that we haven't seen. But
I thought it was like because Jet's character needed exposition of. I always thought, okay, so the stuff happened with Towson and his partner, but okay, so if that happened, why is he still not on the police force? And the anime never explained it. So I thought that the fact that he took the fall made a lot of sense on why he's a bounty hunter and not a police. And I actually liked Jet's story expansion. I like Faye's too. I thought Faye could have been better, but I thought she would have gotten to become the Faye we know in season 2. I thought this was opening her up. John Cho's the only person where I'm like,
yeah, it's like they just saw Spike and just said, you know what? We're just gonna rip everything that people like about him. We're just gonna rip all the good stuff in half and give you bits and pieces.
John Cho was, I could say he took liberties with Spike. I'd say, Mustafa Shakir was the closest one to Jet. I'd say Faye was, you could see anime Faye in her, but with Spike, it was like, I can see anime stuff, but that's me really like trying.
Yeah, you're nitpicking at that point.
Yeah, and he was fearless.
And same
he was
with
a character we never heard. Oh, God.
Yeah. Like with Vicious, man, we saw too much Vicious. I think that was the problem. In the anime, he's seen so rarely. And when we see him, we're like, yeah, this dude's a problem. In the show, the adaptation, he's there almost every single episode.
I get showing him, but they didn't show. They changed who he was. They made him like a totally person who was upset that his dad didn't show him love, and that's not Vicious. They tried to make him relatable. Instead of making him relatable, they should just made him an evil psychopath and just kept it as that.
Exactly. That would have worked way better.
And you could have kept showing him on camera as an evil psychopath, and then you would have felt for Julia. It made Julia's like needing to leave him more believable because it's like, oh, I can't be with this guy. This guy's a fucking psychopath.
Right. Yeah. Let me get away from him.
Exactly. They should have made him Joker and Harley Quinn, but make Harley Quinn not someone that wants to be with her. That's what they should have did. That's what they should have did.
Yeah. They just said, hey, we didn't get this character in the anime. You're going to get him now. Plenty of them. Facts. More than what you actually want at this point.
And it's not going to be the character you knew.
Right. They changed Grin up entirely. It's just so much, bro. It's so much.
I just wish Grin would have just performed. Like they should have just let him. They should have just let they perform. Like they should just let Grin perform and do the saxophone. So
yeah. Like I get why. I guess I really don't get why, to be honest with you. But you had the blueprint. The blueprint is there. Even if you copy it verbatim, I would not have any problems. Yeah, I wouldn't have any problems.
That's what Ghost in the Shell did. Ghost in the Shell was boring, but at least it was like the anime.
Yeah, it was a traditional adaptation of it.
The best adaptation is still Battle Angel Alita. They struck gold. James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez struck gold. But that shows me when you put competent filmmakers behind something, you'll get a good result.
Exactly. Don't give this big
property to somebody who does
somebody that does indie films all the time.
And I don't want to shit on up and comers, but it just shows that like for this type of big budget, you need someone who knows how to work with that.
Someone that has a vision, that has had a vision, that we've seen their best stuff, we've seen their best work. If they can do something that compares, then fine, I'm here for it.
Yep, I
totally
agree.
Here for it.
I agree.
Man, we're not getting a season 2.
No.
That is whack, man. But let's move forward. Let's get back into Marvel territory.
All right, it's time. We're doing Spider-Man now.
We're doing it, bro.
All right,
and let me just say this, everyone, if you haven't seen the movie yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, but this is your spoiler alert because we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty, of course. So once again, spoiler alert for Spider-Man No Way Home. The movie's been out for 3 days at this point, so yeah, we're gonna talk about it, bro. We needed this moment.
Yeah, we needed
this. We haven't had a moment like this since Endgame, basically.
Marvel, like, to me, this is the best thing Marvel released all this year. Falcon Winter Soldier is the second, and Falcon Winter Soldier was a great moment, but it wasn't like this. This was Marvel. This was big screen. Like Black Widow did not hit.
No, not at all. Not at all. And Shang-Chi was Black Panther 1.5.
Cool. It was cool, but like it was okay. It's not in the top tier Marvel. It's not in the bottom tier. And same with Eternals. Eternals was cool. It's not in top tier. It's not in bottom tier. It's somewhere directly in the middle. Yeah, exactly. But this, to me, Damo, like I said before, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Thor Ragnarok, to me, are the best Marvel movies. And I put this right there with it. And there's a reason. I saw some people saying this is the best Marvel movie ever. I saw some people saying the second best Marvel movie. But there's a reason in particular why I can't put this second or first. And I think the emotional moment of this movie did not land for me.
You don't know why?
Because they didn't show Aunt May. That's why. They didn't give her any screen time. They didn't give Aunt May anything to do. And then in this one, you just kill her off. You just kill her off and make her say, with great power comes great responsibility. And everybody's saying, oh, this was a great moment. Oh, this is a great moment. No, it's not.
It wasn't enough.
It's only a good moment because you know who Aunt May is. You have a relationship with that IP, and you have a relationship with the IP of with great power comes great responsibility. And I think Marvel butchered Spider-Man's backstory in his Aunt May and Uncle Ben, and they made him Tony Stark lackey. And I think it was a mistake. And I think if you wanted to make this movie matter, you should have killed Happy. You should have killed Ned. Aunt May doesn't do anything for this to me.
I was thinking Ned was going to be the one because I like that would really make the most sense. We've seen we've seen more of Ned than basically any other side character.
That would have made this. That honestly, Damo, that would have made this movie number 1 and number 2 for me. Easy. And that would have made it better than Suicide Squad for me because to me, that would have been outright okay. They said, you know what? We're killing someone important to him. We're and then with the ending, we're changing everything about him. We kill someone important to him. This matters, and Spider-Man is officially different. That would have been outright. There's no debate. This is the best comic book movie. But now there's a debate because the emotional moment, the crux of this movie doesn't.
We were robbed.
Doesn't hit, and the fact is, all of this is Aunt May's fault.
Yeah,
like I don't think it doesn't make Spider-Man a hero not to help these 4 grown adults that he does not know and that are just fucking randos.
Not from different states. They're from different universes.
From different universes. Like the person who controls different universes, Doctor Strange is saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And we're listening to Aunt May, someone who runs Feast. What is wrong with what?
Yeah. That was rough. That was rough.
And then the only other negative I have is the ending of Doctor Strange making the spell, because if you go back and watch the beginning, Doctor Strange said he could have made the spell. You just have to tell him what it is. He could have made it to where only him, Happy, and MJ, and Ned remember
Aunt May. Yeah, he could have done it, but for movie purposes, the movie's got a movie. Yeah, they want to move on, do more Spider-Man things in the future. They had to do what they had to do. And especially with the news that Spider-Man, the next movie is already in the in production or in development anyway.
It's a new trilogy, college years. And I'll say this. I am now more excited for Spider-Man than I've ever been because of the ending of now they've taken the Tony Stark stuff away from him.
They took everything away from him. They took his friends away from him.
Now they're going to build him up as this new as the Spider-Man we know, which I'm super excited for. He made his own costume. He's making like now he's using his brains. He had to take the GED. He's gonna get into whatever school he wants, or maybe, and that'll make him become the scientist Spider-Man that we know. So I'm excited for that. But I'm just like, dang, you didn't have to take away MJ and Ned from him. You could have did the spell.
Yeah. So, but just think, bro, we're getting Craven, we're getting Rhino, Scorpion. You know,
we're gonna get all that cool stuff in the future,
man. And I'm excited because, like I said, at the end of this movie, he basically loses everything. There are no more. There's no more anchors holding him down. He has no more attachments to him. It's now it's officially going to be a Spider-Man movie.
Yep,
not Spider-Man and MJ and Ned or anything like that.
Funny enough, they made him into Nightwing. Like basically, this is Nightwing. Like they cut away the Robin, they cut away all the Batman money, and now he's on his own, making his own suit. I love it. And like I said, I'm more interested in Tom Holland Spider-Man now than I've ever been because of that. And it's like this is gonna be fun. And also, I'm more interested now because Kevin Feige is such a smart man. Kevin Feige said, yeah, we're going to open the multiverse. The Sony stuff, you'll come in for this movie, but you're right back out, baby. Venom, you're right back out. Listen. Yep. And now we're going to have a new Venom, but MCU's Venom, which is dope because I'm going to be honest.
It could be MCU's Eddie Brock for all we know.
Or Flash Thompson, whichever one you want to give it to.
Yeah.
But whatever it is,
should be Flash Thompson, but you know.
It's dope now because now I never thought Tom Holland could have fought Tom Hardy and won. Never believed that in my dreams. Although I will say in this movie, seeing him fight Green Goblin, this is the best Tom Holland fighting performance we've ever gotten in a movie. But I'm glad Feige's such a smart man. He's like, yeah, Amy Pascal, you can come in for this one. Right. And now you're right back.
You're right out. Oh yeah, man. That was so tight. But just seeing that moment at the end, I'm like, all right, so he's here. He's naming people. He's talking about things that we know that happened. He's going to go back. He's going back to his universe with the knowledge that this stuff has happened. So I wonder what that's going to do for his character. Like, is Venom actually going to be able to do Venom things now? Like, I'm excited for it.
Or is he going to be a hero? Or like, are they going to bring a Spider Person for his universe? It's going to be interesting to see. But I just think it's funny that like now all this Morbius shit, I'm so happy. Doesn't matter for Tom Holland in the Marvel universe. Because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want that Sony's Amy Pascal stuff to count for MCU because it just feels different.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right at all.
No.
But one thing I do love about this movie, man, is that it's for old Spider-Man fans and new Spider-Man fans all alike. This movie has almost 20 years of history. That's built up, and we get to see these characters that we grew up watching and being like, man, I wish we got more of Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. I wish we got more of Jamie Foxx's Electro. He was done dirty. Let's get these characters back.
And look, I know people are saying that Dafoe was the best one. I got to give it to Jamie, man. Like Dafoe was great, but Jamie needed this. Like, Jamie was hilarious. Jamie, like this was awesome for him. And I'll say the same thing for the Spider-Man. Everybody thought Toby was gonna come in and this was Andrew, man.
This was Andrew's movie, man.
Yeah,
this was more his movie than the Amazing Spider-Man movies were ever in the whole 4-hour runtime that both of those movies have together.
Like Andrew felt like a great Spider-Man. He was like, I'm redeeming myself.
Yeah, he was goofy. He was lame. You know, they told him to get up on the wall. He said, "Why should I do that?"
Toby was kind of just old man Spider-Man.
He was there for the check.
Yeah, he was.
The man was there for the check. And you know they made the you're dressed like a youth pastor joke. You know
that was funny.
He made the my back hurts joke from Spider-Man 2. I was like, I know that reference. when Green Goblin says, I'm somewhat of a scientist myself. I'm like, I know that reference. Like that was like the cool part of it. Just seeing Easter eggs and hearing things and seeing things. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. The dummy bot from Iron Man, the arm thing. Like, he's had that. Like Happy's had that all this time after Tony's passed away. That's so cool to me, man.
Another thing, I was like, Sandman, you punk. Why aren't you helping it more? Like I was just like, you clowning, Sandman.
Yeah, like he got brought back confused. What should I do? He's like, okay, just work with me. Why should I work with you? I'm mad now. Like
I don't trust you.
Talking
about?
What
are you talking about? You know that Spider-Man's a good dude, but you're gonna work with Doc Ock. Like, what's wrong with you?
And you know these people.
And then at the last battle, you see your Spider-Man and you're still not helping. Like, what's wrong with you?
He didn't say a single word to him. but it was good to see the original actor at the end. When he reformed his human form. That was dope. Yeah, Thomas Hayden Church. I was like, yeah, that was dope. But
and then the lizard kind of got screwed too. The lizard
he got the shit end of the stick, bro. Everybody has something going on. Electro had jokes. Green Goblin was phenomenal.
And they're like, "Oh, you can talk?"
Yeah, like you're talking dinosaur.
That's Kurt Connors. He's supposed to be one of the smartest people there,
right? But he was literally the dumbest. They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go upstairs and figure out how to save everybody." He's like, "No, I'm gonna sit in the truck."
They made him into Killer Croc, bro.
Yeah, basically, bro. Basically, he was maybe. It was just. I was like, bro, you're in the truck. They're trying to fix everything. You should be out of the truck. If you're who you are, you should be doing your own thing. And I'm like, all right, bro, whatever, bro. Then at the end, I mean, they made like a cool, the high school laboratory fight with him in it was a cool.
Was that
throwback.
The same actor? I didn't think that was the same actor.
Yeah, it was actually.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to Google it right now.
Yeah, I believe it was. And I'm like, why is that a thing? Like, yeah, he just was like a blink and you miss it.
Moment. It was. You know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the Kurt Connors from Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
I know that actor. That actor stands out.
Right. But yeah, this guy, I remember seeing him in the Amazing Spider-Man movies and being like, okay, I know this guy, but I never remember seeing him. Yeah,
I never remember that actor. I just knew he was the lizard. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was barely, he was around in the beginning, but in the end, like, in the after credit scene, he was there when they were trying to set up Hobgoblin and stuff like that.
Oh, but bro, I do not remember that fucker. That's crazy. Hold on, I'm about to tell you the actor I remember because the Spider-Man, like the OG Spider-Man's fucking Dr. Connor stands out. Like, that dude was a legitimate actor.
Right.
Hold on, I'm gonna get it for you. But this movie was awesome.
Yeah, like I said, it was really what we needed. Just a movie to get everybody back in the theaters. Everybody really loves Spider-Man. I mean, people hate Spider-Man, but for the most part, we love
him. Yeah,
we love him. Like I said, with almost 20 years of history, I remember being a young 9-year-old going to go see Spider-Man in theaters and making the popcorn stick to my fingers like I had Spider-Man's powers. Like,
I remember
Dylan Baker. Doing that. Okay.
This guy, like, bro, this guy is iconic. Like, everybody knows this dude.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was waiting to see
the dude with the forehead. Yeah.
I was waiting to see him, and when I saw that Connors, I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Yeah, what is that? I gotta see what that guy's name is, man.
It's like Ian Reese or something weird.
Yeah. It's not a normal, like a regular name, like that we would know anyway.
I think he's from like Sweden or England, but boy, this in terms of this movie, I thought that seeing Tom Holland, I think this was Tom Holland's best performance as Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and seeing him fight.
We got to see him hurt.
I think not only that, I think they had to step up like his action because they knew that Andrew and Toby were in this movie and they knew how good those dudes fought. And to see him versus Green Goblin, I was like, all right, this is college Peter Parker. This is Peter Parker who should be the new leader of the Avengers. This is Spider-Man that is the one that we've been waiting for.
He's hitting with purpose right now.
Yep.
He's trying to save everyone. You can tell in his fighting, his stance, the way he was just,
and that's why I wish they killed Ned and Aunt May because all those punches would have mattered more.
Yes, way more. Because I mean, like I said before, we've seen way more Ned. And we've seen MJ and Aunt May, and we've gotten attached to Ned. We know that this dude's a Star Wars nerd. I can relate to that. You know what I mean?
It would have hurt.
Right. So if we would have seen him die, or even without him having to be a villain or anything, if he just would have died as Ned, that would have been awesome. That would have hurt, but that would have been so great.
That would have been amazing. Great. And it would have been so amazing because just think of the moment where Andrew Garfield saves MJ. It's like, oh shit, because he failed to save Gwen.
Yes, bro.
That's why you kill Ned, because you can redeem Peter later and have moments like that.
Yeah, when Andrew Garfield saved MJ in this movie, and
it was awesome.
When they got to the ground, and she says, "Hey, are you okay?" And he starts tearing up.
Yes,
I was like, bro, that pain in my heart, bro. Like
that was dope.
Like you were there, you tried to save your girl.
And boy, I thought they killed Toby. I'm not gonna lie, bro, I was like, no way.
Listen.
I screamed. Look. I'm out because I want to know the moments where people scream the most in your theater. People screamed when they saw
the portal came.
Oh, when the
my
portal
bad
came.
part.
Okay,
Yep.
so people, I'm gonna just tell you all of mine. People screamed
Yep.
with Green Goblin. People screamed with Andrew Garfield. People screamed with Toby, and people screamed. And that's it. I screamed when Toby got stabbed because I thought he was gonna die, and then I screamed when we saw Daredevil. People were like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "That's Daredevil."
Like, you didn't see the show? Like, I had my little brother with me, and like me and maybe 5 other people like gasped, like, he's here.
I was like,
and my brother was like, my brother looked at me, and I'm like, that's Daredevil. You hadn't seen Daredevil, have you? He was like, no. I'm like, you're lame for that.
That's my friend Norman Locke, man.
That was so cool, man.
But yeah, Daredevil, and then he caught the thing. I was like,
right. Then they said, "Oh, you need what do you say? I'm a really good lawyer." Whatever he said, I was like, "That is dope." We have Daredevil in the MCU. We have Kingpin. Spoiler alert for Hawkeye. We have Kingpin in the MCU. Like,
and that's why I'm so excited for Spider-Man, because they're making him New York. They're taking him out of the Cosmic Avengers, and now if you do this right, you can have whatever's Doctor Strange. You can have Doctor Strange in the multiverse. You can have the space stuff, but now you can have New York proper, where Kingpin's in charge. You have Daredevil. You have Spider-Man. You have Hawkeye. Maybe that I want street level Marvel, and that's what I'm so excited for. That's what this movie,
not having to be away from everything else like the Netflix shows had to be. But they didn't have to be their own thing. Like make this everything else. Still give us more about the blip. What was did Daredevil get blipped? Like, I want to know these questions now. And that's so exciting, man.
That's what makes this so special of Tom Holland being now a college kid and away from all of this. He's
his own Spider-Man.
He can be the neighborhood Spider-Man, team up with Daredevil. We can see him in Kingpin. And I don't remember if you remember the old animated cartoon in the 90s
with him with the big white with the big white blazer on.
And them hiring the Spider Slayers. Like, we can see all of that cool shit now.
Right. That's so cool, man. I'm so excited for the future of Marvel, but I think what was really great about this movie is, like, granted, it was kind of spoiled in the trailers, but the fact that we picked up right where we left off. You know what I mean? I feel like that stuff was handled very well, with him having to figure out, okay, I got to go back to school. How is this going to go?
Yeah, how's it gonna work?
News helicopters and stuff flying around, and news.
And I'm glad they did the thing with the MIT lady, because I was like, "There's no way MIT's not gonna accept this dude who's a hero." Like, what are you talking about right now? He brings great profile to the school. Like, you want this type of endorsement. And when he saved her, I was like, "That's about right."
Right? Yeah. Like, she, it took her to almost die 3 times to say, "Yeah, you're allowed. You can come.
You're allowed." Yeah. I also love that J. Jonah Jameson was doing his original show like Us, with a green screen behind a podcaster.
Right.
And then he got so popular that they're like, "Okay, you'll be on TV again."
Yeah, you got your whole set now. You got assistants and all that stuff. I said, that is
I was like, from podcaster to TV, I like the hustle.
Right. In such a short amount of time. Like, that just shows, like, yeah, this dude was onto something.
he was on his grind.
Right. That was amazing, man. But I feel like there's still just so much more fun to be had. And I'm really looking forward to the future. Especially with Across the Spider-Verse, man. Like, seeing that trailer when I wasn't expecting it was great. It was so great, man.
It was great.
It was so great. And I was like, man, it's been a while since I actually seen Into the Spider-Verse, but I know I love that movie. And seeing this trailer, I'm like, okay, they're gonna do this again.
And it's part 1. Better. They're gonna do part 1 and part 2, and I'm excited. And also just that movie I'm excited for. But in terms of this one, I think we could see Miles maybe in the Sonyverse, if not in this one,
right?
Because they were hitting Miles, and the dude from Blackish, the little kid, was talking with Kevin Feige at the premiere.
What's his name? Miles
Brown.
Yeah.
Yep, Miles Brown just followed Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige followed him. Like, there's some things going.
Things are in the works,
Miles Brown being Miles Morales in this movie. But okay, so I'm thinking Spider-Man proper. Tom Holland will be, for the next 3 movies, this is how I'm thinking. He'll be Spider-Man and building himself up. And I think by the 3rd one, he'll pass the torch.
He'll pass the baton over to
Miles
Brown
Morales. At Miles Morales. Yep. But also, I think he'll pass the torch as neighborhood Spider-Man. And I think Tom Holland will go to doing what Robert Downey Jr. did, as only Avengers movies. And I think Tom Holland will only be in big movies, and the Spider-Man movies will be Miles Morales. That's my bet.
Kind of lower stuff. And we're getting to learn about his villains, because he has separate villains, in a sense. But
he's more tied into Kingpin more so than Peter because of his uncle.
Yeah, we get to see more Childish Gambino or more Donald Glover in the future. This stuff is so exciting, man. But just think about this movie, man, and like, I watched the trailer where this guy, I mean, not a trailer, but this video on YouTube where this guy was explaining about the different fonts and things they were using. They used an Indian font, signaling that Indian Spider-Man was going to be in this movie. And I'm like, yo, that is dope.
I mean, look, they showed Kang when the multiverse opened. One of the figures that they made sure was clear was Kang.
Yeah.
And it was Kang with the helmet, too.
Yeah, and you could see the outline of the helmet and everything. I'm like, yo, bro, this is going to be great.
Oh, no, Doctor Strange and the Mystery of the Multiverse is great. And we didn't even talk about that. That was one of the post-credits of the trailer.
Let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it. I love Doctor Strange. I love that movie, too. I love the characters, man.
If Batman wasn't coming out, I would say Doctor Strange would be the best comic book movie of next year.
Right.
That movie, that trailer looked incredible. I love that they brought Baron Mordo back, but I don't think he's going to fight him.
He has his dreadlocks.
Yep.
He has his dreadlocks.
I don't think he's going to fight him.
No, not yet. I think that might be for movie 3. That's going to be for movie 3.
Yep. They're setting it up for he can't take anymore. In movie 3, he's coming after your ass, Strange. Yep. You've been doing too much. This one, I think, is going to be the thing we saw him throw the destructive.
Gorath.
Yeah, Gorath. And Gorath is going to be basically taking control of different people. And that's why when people say Wanda goes evil for a bit, I think Gorath is going to control her. I think Gorath is going to get evil Strange. So we're going to see them fight evil Wanda, evil Strange, and Gorath. And then I think Wanda's going to come back to the good side for the end for Strange and her to take out Gorath and whatnot. But in that movie, we could see X-Men from Foxverse. We could see all the different Marvel creations that we haven't seen before in a while. And
that's just fantastic. And the fact, I mean, like, they told us that this is going to be the scariest Marvel movie to date.
It looks it.
Yes, bro. Like the tone just doesn't feel right. Like a lot of these movies have been happy-go-lucky. I mean, even Doctor Strange, the trailer of him, going to Kathmandu and learning how to be, a sorcerer and everything. But this movie just feels like something's off. You have Doctor Strange, a very powerful hero, going to go meet with
who's
Wanda.
no longer the Sorcerer Supreme, which I thought was interesting.
That was because I was kind of thinking about that too. He got blipped.
Yep, and I think that's going to be important because I think Wong might try to banish him in this next movie because he did the Spider-Man spell.
Right, he told him not to. He did it anyway. So things are not looking great
for Stephen.
For Stephen Strange. Even he got trapped in his own dimension.
Yep,
because of Peter's knowledge of geometry. so things were going great for him in this movie. Things are not looking great for him in his own movie next. So. I'm excited. Yeah, especially after seeing the What If. Did you see What If?
Yeah, well, I watched the series because I was boycotting that animated thing. But I did see evil Doctor Strange from the What If, and I know about it. I know what happened. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
It makes it matter. It makes it for people who watch What If for it to matter. And I think that's dope.
Yeah. What I also thought was dope in this movie was when the universe was like rifting apart. You could see like purple clouds, just like in What If. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Make this stuff tie together.
And when the spell happened, that's the moment in Loki when Loki and girl Loki, Sylvie, when Loki and Sylvie are talking to Jonathan Majors, when they see the being in the back, that's the when Doctor Strange casting the spell, and that's the same time in WandaVision when she hears her son's name. Like all those moments are
they all coincide with each other.
Yep. Exactly.
That's exciting, bro.
That's super dope.
So cool, bro.
But
it gives us these reasons for us to geek out like this and nerd out. Like it's so cool, man.
But that's pretty much all my thoughts on it, Dom.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I was saying, like this is like, to be honest, bro, this is the most fun I've had in a theater since I saw Malignant. Have you seen Malignant?
No, I'm not a big horror guy. That's your thing.
Oh, bro, I know, bro, but you got to see Malignant, man, at least. But man, when I tell you that I was the only one in the theater, because the movie came out on HBO Max the same day, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to the movies to see this movie. And I went at like 1:00 that afternoon. And I had a complete ball watching that movie because it was nothing that I was expecting. Okay. And like that's one of the reasons why I still say that James Wan is a genius, because he's made so many horror films. I've enjoyed them, but this one just kind of flipped everything on its head.
This is the one.
Yeah, basically. But it's like it's a horror film, but it's so many other things, man. And it has a special place in my heart. That's definitely one of my favorite horror films of this year. Of course, it beats out The Conjuring. That movie was garbage, but other than that, But yeah, I got to say that out loud. That the last time I had this much fun. Oh yeah, and we also cheat. Well, we we just cheered. We had fun watching this movie though, Spider-Man. We just, when we saw, Daredevil's cane and seeing Green Goblin with the purple hoodie, and like when he's fighting Spider-Man, his outfit is getting ripped to shreds and more goblin stuff is coming out. I was like, oh man, these double entendres, bro. I love it.
Just amazing. No, this Marvel did their thing with this one. Gotta give them credit for that.
Yeah, and like once again, like just bringing these characters back and giving them some kind of comeuppance. Like we still feel like they all died prematurely, having them come back to save them, let them go wherever they gotta go, and then I'm cool with that. I'm cool bringing Jamie Foxx's Electro back, fixing the things that were wrong with him, and sending them back into the universe. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, no, and then look, you can bring him back if need be, just depending on how the multiverse goes.
Right, exactly. But I believe that's going to do it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. So if you enjoyed, make sure you share with all your people, your family, your coworkers. You hit that subscribe button. Make sure you go check out my boy Lynn's stuff over here. That's Bros Who Think Network. It's on Twitter, all the socials, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everything. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode. New episode coming soon. Christmas live stream should be sometime this week. I'm gonna figure out a time to see when everyone's gonna be available. Lynn, you let me know, bro. I'd love to have you on.
Oh, I'll appear, brother. Just let me know when you're doing it.
Yeah. So once again, it's been your host, your creator, your editor, your director, your first, your last, and everything. I go by the name of Dominique. This has been the Dom Trap. Have a beautiful week and a happy or Merry Christmas, rather.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Take care.